Hey guys, it's One-on-One Smith. I am back again with yet another review. This week we're going to take a little break from Gunpla and we're going to go jump back into the world of figures. This time we're taking a look at Asmus Toys Vergil from my favorite game, Devil May Cry 3. This has been a very anticipated wait for me. I have been waiting for over 5 months to get this hand on this figure, and thanks to Midtown Comics, this came after New Year's and is now in my possession. As you guys don't know, Asmus Toys is a smaller figure company in the same vein of Sideshow and Hot Toys. They make 1/6 scale figures. They're mostly known for making figures from Lord of the Rings. Capcom has graciously given them the license to make Devil May Cry figures, and this is their second outing with Vergil. Earlier last year, they came out with the Devil May Cry 4 Dante, and while I was very impressed with the tailoring and the accessories, I decided to pass because Devil May Cry 4 Dante isn't exactly my favorite rendition of the character. Don't get me wrong, in-game he is amazing and I do like his character. I just don't like the design. I don't like the whole eccentric cowboy look of Dante. I will always be attached to Devil May Cry 3 because that was my first outing with Devil May Cry. And admittedly, the face sculpt looks kind of pudgy. It just doesn't look like Dante to me. It looks like they kind of gave him really chunky cheeks. I really felt they should have based his looks more on Ruben Langdon, Dante's voice and motion capture actor. But, you know, it was their first outing and I'm willing to look past it. However, Vergil seems like to be a much grand improvement over that facial design. And they even went so far as to fix the initial sculpt. The original one looked much more like reboot Vergil than current Vergil. The bangs really helped to define Vergil in his original concept in Devil May Cry 3 and 4. And it really just shows the amount of attention this company is willing to give so late into the development of a figure. So I figured Vergil was a much better design than Dante. I can always get another Dante. They're coming out with every rendition of the original trilogy, so I'm not missing much. So I'm pretty pumped up to have this. Again, I've collected Player Kai figures of Dante, Vergil, Nero. Maybe this company can do it way better than I could even expect. I've been waiting for a long time and I'm so glad to have this. So why don't we open up the box and see what we have here. Out of the box, and now we have the 1/6 scale Vergil, and he looks so motivated. The amount of detailing they have on the face sculpt, they definitely capture Vergil's cold and distant demeanor with his icy cold blue eyes and pale skin texture. The jacket looks amazing. It looks like real leather with bleeding colors of orange on the inside. His tailoring looks amazing and everything looks very accurate to what you would see. Though admittedly, I gotta say Vergil looks more like Devil May Cry 4 Vergil than 3. I feel like the hair is a little too perfect. It looks more like his in-game model, which was from 4. It doesn't match in 3 as well, but still it's amazing what the detail can match. Otherwise, I'll say this is a good looking figure, but let's take a look at his articulation. Like always, we're gonna start with the head. The head is on a double joint and it can go look up, down, and side to side. No 360, which is weird, but I guess they wanted to keep it more humanoid, but also be mindful of the collar on the jacket. The arms can go about perpendicular to each other, but not really 360 as well. The hands are on ball joints. You're gonna get a decent amount of ab crunch with the torso, which can help with posing. And the legs can go perpendicular, but the tailoring will get in the way. Both legs can go out and you'll get a double jointed knee and some pivoting on the toes. I would say articulation is decent to above average. Now we're gonna get to the accessories, and I gotta say that while there might not be as much as you imagine, just because Vergil didn't have that many, his accessories are definitely worth the bang for the buck, and you'll definitely get to see why. So why don't we just check them out and start from scratch. First off, you're gonna get Force Edge, Sparta's signature weapon that Vergil uses to confront Dante in their third and final battle. I gotta say that this is the most detailed version of Force Edge I have ever seen, and it actually attaches in a very interesting way. You're actually gonna take out the butt of the hilt, and then you're gonna place it within the open palm of the holding hand, and then push it back in together. I'm a little disappointed in the fact that this is made of die-cast metal, but I guess they decided to not add die-cast in terms of weight because that would be a big-ass sword for him to hold. And it looks really good. My only disappointment is that there is no magnet. Just like Asmus Toys Dante, it came with a magnet on Rebellion that would attach to his back. It's not present in Force Edge, so you're gonna have to be careful about where you store Force Edge, and it looks like you're gonna be holding both swords at once, which is a slight disappointment, but it's still an amazing accessory. However, Yamato makes up for it immensely. This thing is amazing. It looks very detailed, and I love the gold accents on both the sword and the hilt. And this is actually made of die-cast metal. This isn't plastic, people. It has weight to it, and you'll have to take that into account when trying to hold and pose it. But it looks so amazing, like a real katana. He holds it very well, but you'll need to use both the waist joint and the elbow a little bit due to the weight. But I would say that Yamato is his best accessory. And it looks amazing while posing it. I just feel so motivated. Force Edge might have been made of ABS plastic, but Yamato is so worth it, just alone for a die-cast metal blade katana. And finally, you'll be getting this action stand, which is somewhat customary to 1/6 scale figures. I find that it's kind of weak and it doesn't fit into the peg as well. You definitely have to really jam it into there, but once you get it figured out, it can stand and it's definitely gonna look amazing. Would have been cool if there was a deluxe edition where it had a special base like DMC4 Dante. And finally, just for a comparison, here's Asmus Toys Vergil next to his PlayArts Kai counterpart. I do feel in terms of posability that PlayArts Kai has Asmus beat, but in terms of everything else, Asmus Toys is a grand improvement over PlayArts Kai. It makes it look like a child's toy in comparison. This is just almost embarrassing and sad for PlayArts Kai. Well, here we are at the end of the review, and what do I think of Asmus Toys' attempt at replicating Vergil? Awesome! I'm sorry if I'm just singing its praises, but this figure is amazing. It's just everything I would have wanted in a Vergil figure. Well, almost everything. There's a few caveats here and there. First of all, the articulation is a little bit lacking. I was expecting a little bit more. I guess in my mindset, I just expect 1/6 scale figures to be in the same vein of PlayArts Kai. And I guess I have to keep in mind that it does not transition well. They can't design a 1/6 scale figure exactly the same as they could a 10-inch figure. Also, the tailoring and the amount of materials that they use in this figure definitely hold it back. And I also have to keep that in mind. In terms of the face sculpt, I do believe this looks more like Devil May Cry 4 Vergil than Devil May Cry 3. It just looks, the hair just looks too perfect. It looks more blown dry, the more slick back that he would in 3. I would have kind of wished they added a little bit more layer to it, a few more bangs. It definitely would have helped to bring out the more 3 Vergil if you see his character renders and his in-game model. So that would have been a little bit more onto the point. The face sculpt is great, it could have been perfect, but it's great for what it is. The accessories, I wish Force Edge would have been able to magnetize to the back of Vergil like Rebellion did with DMC4 or Dante. It would have helped out in terms of storage and playability, but I guess since it's made of ABS, they couldn't translate that well. But I think Yamato, for being die-cast, which is something that even Hot Toys Raiden's katana was made out of, that was an amazing addition to the figure. And overall, it's just gonna have a very striking presence in your shelf. Even the leather, I'm gonna admit, I don't like the feel of the material. It feels more like a laundry bag, but the fact that it bleeds out orange like it's wrinkled, it's just an amazing detail that I love that Asmus Toys picked up. I do think this is an immense improvement over the DMC4 Dante that came out earlier this year, and I just cannot highly recommend this more than anything else. There might be a slight bias because I'm just a big Devil May Cry fanboy, but if you're a fanboy of Devil May Cry, get this figure. There's only going to be like 2,000 or 2,500 made. Go get it. I can't wait for their next offerings. I think the next figure in line is Nero. I definitely want to get Nero as well. This is an amazing figure. I highly suggest it for any fan of Devil May Cry or just Hot Toys figure in general. This is only $200, very affordable compared to Hot Toys, and let me just shut up because I'm just singing its praises and I'm embarrassing myself. This is 101 R. Smith, and I will see you later. Peace.